You ever have one of those moments where you just want to live your life, mind your own business, but someone decides to make your front yard their personal battleground? That was me. Standing in my muddy boots, staring at a neon green SUV honking like it was auditioning for the apocalypse, all because I dared to close my ranch gate. And behind the wheel, screaming into her phone like she was directing a Hollywood blockbuster, was Cheryl Vance, the HOA president who thought my land was her shortcut to glory. Now, let me set the scene. I'm Jake Larson. Just a guy trying to keep my family's ranch running out here on the edge of Sagebrush Plains, Texas. This place has been ours for 3 generations, 80 acres of wide-open freedom, no HOA. No subdivisions, just me, my chickens, and a 25-pound goose named Thunder who thinks he's the Secret Service. My wife, Ellie, passed a few years back. Left me some insurance money I sank into a financial fund that buys up bad mortgages. Smart move, she'd say, and it kept me afloat. But lately, folks from the new Pinewood Estates down the road started treating my pasture like a freeway to the golf course, tearing up my grass, scaring my livestock. After losing a dozen chickens to joyriders last year, I dropped 12 grand on an automatic gate with cameras sharper than my grandma's tongue. And when I flipped that switch to lock it tight, I had no idea I was about to ignite a war with the queen of entitlement herself. It started at dawn, the kind of quiet Texas morning where the only sound's the wind rattling the mesquite. I was tinkering in my barn when I heard it, honk, 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 like someone was trying to summon the end times. I checked my security feed, and there was Cheryl, her SUV parked at my gate. Laying on the horn, her blonde bob bouncing as she waved her arms. I knew her, head of the Pinewood HOA, always strutting around in loud outfits, finding people for untrimmed hedges or unapproved porch lights. She'd been cutting through my land for months, leaving tire tracks and attitude. I strolled out, taking my time, and there she was. Out of her car, in a lime green blazer and heels sinking into the dirt, pointing at me like I'd stolen her crown. Jake Larson, open this gate right now, she screeched, her phone propped on a tripod. Already live streaming. I'm the HOA president, and you're violating my right of way. I leaned on the gate, calm as could be, and said, Cheryl, this ain't your road. This is my ranch. You're trespassing. Her face went redder than a chili pepper. I don't care. You can't block me. I'll have you arrested. That's when Thunder made his entrance. My goose heard the commotion, waddled up with his wings spread like a feathered linebacker, and let out a hiss that'd make a rattlesnake flinch. Cheryl's eyes went wide. Help, she screamed into her phone. He's got a killer goose. She dove behind her SUV, tripping over her tripod, mascara streaking as Thunder stood tall, honking like he was auditioning for Jurassic Park. The whole thing was caught on her live stream, and by nightfall, HOA Lady vs. Guard Goose was racking up millions of views. But before she peeled out, leaving skid marks on my gravel, Cheryl pointed at me, wild-eyed, and yelled, I know about the secret, Jake. Wait till the world sees what you're hiding. Secret? I scratched my head, watching her taillights fade. What was she on about? I didn't have secrets, unless you count the time I buried my old dog Rusty under the oak tree. But something in her voice, sharp, gleeful, made my gut twist. This wasn't just her usual HOA power trip. This was personal. That night, I pulled out my investment folder, dusty from sitting on my kitchen table. Cheryl's threat had me thinking I'd better check my finances in case she actually tried to sue. As I flipped through, my phone lit up with notifications. Her video was everywhere, comments piling up. Team Goose, that lady needs a reality check. But her words about a secret kept nagging me. I gave Thunder an extra handful of corn and went to bed, figuring tomorrow would bring answers. Boy, was I wrong. Tomorrow brought chaos. At 6 a.m., I woke to what sounded like a sledgehammer on my gate. My camera showed Cheryl, now in a matching green tracksuit, swinging a glittery golf club at the steel bars, screaming into her phone, day 2 of Jake Larson's tyranny. She was ranting about illegal blockades and HOA jurisdiction over all roads. I made coffee, let her tire herself out. When I finally walked out, she was a sweaty mess, yelling, this gate breaks every HOA rule. I've got proof you're hiding something. I sipped my coffee. Slow and deliberate. Cheryl, I'm not in your HOA. This is my land. And you're vandalizing my gate on camera. Not exactly a winning move. She laughed, this high-pitched cackle, and said, oh, Jake. You think you're clever, but I've got emails, dozens of them proving your little scheme. Emails? I checked my inbox later, and sure enough, 52 messages from her, sent between midnight and 4 a.m. with subject lines like, "Your lies won't last," and "Geese are not innocent." I was starting to wonder if she was unhinged. Then my phone rang. It was my buddy Nate, who works at Lone Star Financial, the firm managing my investments. "Jake, you sitting down?" he said, chuckling. "That fund you're in, the one buying distressed loans? We just picked up a batch. And guess who's on the list? Cheryl Vance, 214 Pinewood Drive. Owes 280 grand. Hasn't paid in 7 months. I nearly dropped my mug. Wait, you're saying the woman trying to break my gate owes my fund money? Nate laughed harder. Better, since you're our top investor, you technically own her debt. Want me to send you the servicing rights? I thought about Cheryl's smug grin, her threats, her golf club. Hell yeah, Nate. Send it over. He added, oh, and she's been begging banks for loans all week. All denied. Her credit's worse than a busted tractor. I sat there, staring at the mortgage docs Nate emailed, feeling like I'd just drawn a royal flush. Cheryl thought she was untouchable, but I held the ace. I typed a quick reply to one of her manic emails. Check your mail, Cheryl. By noon, she was back, clutching a certified letter I'd sent, her face cycling through shock, rage, and panic. What is this? She screamed, waving the paper at my camera. You can't own my mortgage. It's a conspiracy. I stepped out, savoring the moment. It's not a conspiracy, Cheryl. You took a loan. Didn't pay it, and I bought the debt. You've got 30 days to clear it, or I start foreclosure. Her phone hit the gravel, and for a split second, she was silent. Then she erupted. This is war, Jake. I've got investigators, proof of your crimes. My sister's a lawyer in Dallas. She'll bury you. She stormed off, leaving her tripod behind, still streaming. The comments were savage. Pay your bills. Karen, Goose for president. I picked up the tripod, looked into the lens, and said, hey, folks, Jake here. Cheryl borrowed money, didn't pay it, and now she's mad at me for closing my gate. Also, no secrets here, just a guy and his goose trying to live in peace. I shut it off, but not before catching a comment from her sister, Laura. Cheryl, stop this. You're embarrassing us. The next day, things got weirder. Cheryl hired what she called an elite investigator, a kid named Ethan, barely 20, who looked like he lived on energy drinks and Twitch streams. I spotted a drone buzzing over my barn, its camera pointed at my chicken coop. My cameras caught Cheryl and Ethan parked just off my property, her yelling, lower, find the evidence. Ethan, sweating through his hoodie, muttered, this is sketchy, lady. Then Thunder took matters into his own wings. That goose saw the drone, decided it was Satan's spy plane, and launched himself skyward like a feathered rocket. The crash was glorious. $1, 500 of text splashing into my pond, Ethan wailing. That was my cousin's drone. Cheryl, filming it all, screamed. That's assault. Your goose is a weapon. I walked out, Thunder strutting beside me. Cheryl, your boy just broke federal law flying that over my land. I've got it on tape, including you egging him on. Ethan's eyes went wide. Federal law? You said this was legit. He turned on her, pulling out his phone. I'm posting this, lady. You owe me $600 in a drone. He peeled out, leaving Cheryl in the dust, ranting about classified sources and hidden truths. By now, her live streams were a circus, but she wasn't slowing down. She posted a video claiming I was running a covert operation on my ranch, hinting at something buried in my fields. It made no sense, but it lit a fire under the Pinewood HOA. She rallied a handful of neighbors for a justice for homeowners protest at my gate, waving signs and a megaphone. Thunder and my rooster, Blaze, had other plans. The duo charged. Thunder snatching the megaphone and Blaze dive-bombing heads. The protesters scattered, Cheryl chasing Thunder across the field, screaming, give it back, you winged demon. The video, titled Goose Steals Karen's Megaphone, hit 5 million views. But behind the laughs, I was getting calls from neighbors like Miss Clara, who'd lived here 30 years. Jake, Cheryl's saying you're hiding something dangerous. What's she mean? I didn't know, but I was done playing defense. I called my cousin Rachel, a lawyer who loves a good scrap. I sent her my camera footage, Cheryl's streams, and the mortgage docs. She cackled. Jake, this woman's handing you a slam dunk. She's confessed to trespassing, vandalism, and fraud on camera. Rachel drafted a cease and desist, warning Cheryl of criminal charges if she didn't back off. I mailed it, taped a copy to my gate, and waited. Cheryl's response? A video from the HOA office. Walls plastered with photos of me feeding chickens, labeled suspect activity. She held up a USB, shaking, and said, "This is it. 50 hours of proof Jake Larson's a menace. Tomorrow, the courthouse will know." I wasn't worried. Rachel said, "She's got nothing but her own crazy. Let her dig her grave." The courthouse was a zoo. Locals, reporters, even kids selling Team Goose shirts outside. Cheryl showed up in a peacock costume, feathers, beak, the works, claiming it symbolized her oppression by my poultry. Judge Carter, a no-nonsense guy, took one look and groaned. "Ms. Vance, this isn't Mardi Gras. Lose the feathers." The zipper jammed, and for 10 minutes, she wrestled it while bailiffs snipped her free, revealing a sweaty T-shirt scrawled with "Vance for victory." The crowd was losing it. Hashtag Peacock Karen trending before she even spoke. Her presentation was a fever dream. Slides of me mowing my lawn labeled covert operations, blurry shots of Thunder called trained assassin. She rambled about a secret network on my ranch, even pulling up a photo of Ellie's headstone, calling it proof of my dark past. That hit me hard, but I stayed cool. When my turn came, I stood and said, "Judge, I've got video, witnesses, and facts. That's all I need." Rachel called Ethan, who admitted Cheryl paid him to fake videos, and Laura, Cheryl's sister, who tearfully explained Cheryl's spiral after losing her job and husband. Then we played the montage every live stream, every threat, every time she admitted trespassing or stealing HOA funds, $14,000, it turned out. The courtroom went quiet as Cheryl's own words buried her. The mortgage docs sealed it. "Ms. Vance spent 30 grand on this vendetta," I said, while skipping 7 months of payments on a loan I own. She could have saved her house twice over. Cheryl lost it, climbing onto the table, yelling, "I'm a sovereign citizen. This court's a sham. The geese are in on it." She tripped on her costume's tail, face planting as phones recorded. Judge Carter slammed his gavel. "Ms. Vance, you're the most frivolous plaintiff I've seen in 25 years. Your claims are nonsense. Mr. Larson's foreclosure is valid, 15 days to pay or vacate. Pay his legal fees, return the HOA funds, and get help. Next stunt like this, you're in contempt." As they hauled her out, still yelling about geese spies, Laura hugged me, whispering, "She wasn't always like this." "I'm so sorry." Miss Clara patted my arm. "You did good, Jake. That woman needed a wake-up call." Nate was grinning. "Peacock Karen's at 12 million views, man. You're a legend." But walking out, I felt less like a victor and more like a guy who just watched someone implode. Cheryl's obsession with control, her need to rule everyone's lives, had cost her everything. That night, my cameras pinged at 3 a.m. Nothing but a peacock feather on the gate, probably from court. Still, it spooked me. Cheryl's house was empty, walls covered in photos of my ranch, a note in marker, "You took my world, Jake. I'll take yours back." Then she vanished. Days later, Ethan, trying to clear his name, accidentally leaked her USB online, 50 hours of Cheryl ranting to herself, splicing fake clips, even admitting she planted weeds on my land, thinking they were drugs. The internet crowned her confession peacock, memes flooding every platform. Laura tracked her down at a diner in Austin, working as Cheryl Smith, until a customer recognized her. She broke down, told Laura, "I lost it all because I couldn't let Jake have his gate." Laura bought the house from me, paid the debt fair and square, with conditions. Cheryl had to get therapy, join a recovery group for control freaks, and swear off HOAs forever. She wrote a public apology. "I'm sorry to Jake, Thunder, Blaze, and Pinewood. I let control turn me into a bully. Also, geese aren't evil. I get it now." 6 months later, I ran into her at a feed store. She looked normal, no green blazers, just jeans and a shy smile. "Jake, I was mad at life, my divorce, my job, everything, and you were just there, living free. I hated it." She showed me a recovery chip, 3 months clean of meddling. Thunder still terrifies me, but I deserved him. We laughed. And for the first time, she felt human. Pinewood dissolved the HOA, turns out. Nobody wanted it but Cheryl. Miss Clara and I got close, sharing coffee and stories about surviving Hurricane Cheryl. Thunder got an Instagram, 500,000 followers, run by Ethan, who's now got a real job. My gate's got a new sign, guarded by Thunder, no Karen's welcome. Cheryl visited once. Brought treats for Thunder, who only chased her a little. As she left, she said, I spent years controlling everything, Jake, and forgot to live. Thanks for the gate. I shrugged. You found the path. Cheryl, I just locked the shortcut. Looking back, it's wild how one closed gate turned a control freak into a meme, then a person again. I didn't win because I fought hard. I won because I stood firm, let Cheryl's own chaos undo her. The ranch is quiet now, just me, Thunder, and the open sky. But I keep the cameras on. You never know when another Cheryl might roll up. So, what's your take? Did Cheryl really change, or is she just biding her time? Ever dealt with a neighbor like her? Drop a comment. Share your craziest HOA stories, and let's hear who's Team Thunder. Like if you laughed, subscribe for more, and let's keep this ranch drama rolling. Peace out.